Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming full moon coming up on January 6th. And this is the first full moon of this year, and it brings us transformative energy. When it comes to evolution and manifestation, there's a strong energy present right now, and you may already feel it through your emotions. Many emotions may be increased right now, maybe certain emotional triggers, maybe certain wounds from the past may be a bit louder. I will give you 5 things how to use this present energy for the manifestation of your dreams, for transformation that you are looking for, and for becoming who you know that you are meant to be. So this full moon is coming up in the zodiac sign of Cancer, and Cancer's ruling planet is Moon. That's why its energy is so strong right now. And because Cancer is a water sign, it's deeply emotional. Water is, like a fluid energy, and we can connect it with emotions because emotion is energy in motion. It's flowing. It's like water. And when the moon is in a water sign, especially Cancer, which has its ruling planet, a moon, it means that the moon will be really, really strong and intense. So it makes sense that this full moon is transformative so much right now when it comes to this energy, and usually it lasts for the first moon cycle, which is 27 days. So this is the phase where you can use its energy for the greatest manifestation, like setting strong intentions, visualizing and using your imagination for seeing the life you want to live. Not like I wish this to happen, but rather seeing yourself already having it so you can feel it emotionally. Because through emotions, you plug yourself to that potential reality, and that's how your mind starts finding possibilities and solutions and ideas and inspiration that if you know how to grab it, if you know how to use it, you will get to where you want to be. You become like a magnet for that potential future. And with each choice that you make, you shift your timeline so that future may take place in your reality. So the first thing that I want to mention here, how to use this present energy, is that you may recognize you have some deep emotional needs. And that's okay. Emotions are what makes us human, right? So when it comes to emotional needs, we need to ask ourselves, what are we craving in our lives the most? Because most of the things we do them out of our present emotional state. For example, when we feel sad, we may sabotage ourselves. We may be lazy. We may procrastinate. We may turn off anybody. We may do things that are not in alignment with our dreams. On other side, when we are joyful, we do things we love to do. We always look for the positive outcome. We are kind and compassionate with each other. We express our soul. We focus on what we want to experience, and so on. Right? When we are angry, we know what we do. When we are depressed, we know what we do. When we are in love, we know how life is, right? So most of the things we do out of our present emotions and out of our deepest emotional needs. So it's important to recognize when it comes to this powerful full moon, your deepest emotional needs to gain greater clarity around it. So what it means? It means that you recognize what kind of emotions or emotional experiences you're lacking the most. Because sometimes we're lacking love and we attach it to having a certain partner or knowing a certain person with whom we can experience more love, right? But love starts with self-love often. And love starts also with finding something you love to do. So if we have a limited perception about certain emotion, we may attach ourselves to something that may start affecting our toxic behaviors. So once we gain greater clarity over what kind of emotional experiences we are lacking the most, we can reflect on those thoughts and recognize what may we add up into our lives. Maybe we could change certain routines, rituals, or find some new hobbies that could awaken something new in our lives, like raise a certain new spectrum of emotions. Like maybe it may happen, and I will talk later about it, that something you've been really passionate in the past, something you've really loved to do in the past, you've stopped doing that. And you may ask yourself why you've stopped doing that. And maybe what if you're lacking now those kind of emotional experiences? Or maybe you know that deep inside you are a really creative person, or you're really social person, and you're not socializing yourself, or you're not expressing your creative energy, and maybe your deep emotional needs would be to do more of that. Because, for example, I'm a really creative person, and if I'm not creating, I will feel like something is stored within me. I would feel a tension in my stomach, like something wants to move through me and I'm blocking it. That's how I feel if I'm not expressing it. So if I would reflect on that, my deepest emotional need would be to let go of the block. But in order to let go of the block, I need to recognize what I'm not doing that I know I should do. So ask yourself what you're not doing but you know you should do. And it may bring you closer to a greater understanding of what you're meant to do. And that's where you will find the answers to your deepest emotional needs. So reflect on that. The second thing, when it comes to Cancer sign and this full moon, is that, Cancers, if you observe them, they're really protective and often really scared, right? If you just come close to it, it will just run away. It will disappear under certain rocks or whatever. So it's actually a symbol of security. And it's associated with the energy, a need for security, right? When we have a need for security, we sometimes do things that are not in alignment with our intentions, with our core values. So it doesn't mean that you should completely let go of it. It's okay to have a need for security. Of course, we need money to pay bills and so on. And that's the first thing to feel secure, to have a certain income, right? Then we want to stay healthy. So we need to do certain things to stay healthy, and that's another need for security, because when we are healthy, we feel secured in our bodies. So reflect on your needs for security and see if you feel limited by it. If you feel that it's time to expand your horizons a little bit. If it's time to maybe expand your mind a little bit around it. Because sometimes, because of our need for security, we may feel afraid to change the job we are doing, even though we don't like it. When on the other side, if we let go of a bit of that need, we may recognize that there's a really great opportunity somewhere around us. And if we grab it, we may find ourselves at a better job, or maybe we'll create our own job. Whatever it is, it's an important time right now to reflect on that, because in front of us is a whole new year, 2023. And if you recognize how much you've been limited in the past because of your need for security, you may create a huge progress on your journey. Because life is about trust, right? Not fear. And because of the need for security, we may often fall into the fear state. But that's where we stop training ourselves to trust and surrender. So you don't need to attach yourself to something that provides security. You can actually manifest security without attaching yourself to it. And when you start focusing on small things, when you start manifesting small things, like for example, you visualize that today you will meet somebody that will give you a gentle smile or a generous smile, and you manifest it in a day, you may think, well, what if I would visualize something bigger, like a new stream of income, for example, and you start visualizing something you love to do, like you start making money with it, and you go deeper into that vision, and you may already find through what kind of source you could start making money with it. Just an example. And eventually, maybe in few months or in a year or 2 years, you may start seeing it happen. You will recognize that you've started manifesting security without being attached to it. And that's where you go from fear into trust. And the universe is teaching you to trust the process. So it's important to make that mindset shift, to go from being attached to security to manifest security. And if you find yourself right now being completely dependent from a certain situation, maybe a fear of losing it may be stronger right at this moment because of this full moon. And if it is happening to you, it is reminding you that it's time for you to expand your perception around it. Maybe there's such a great potential within you to do something out of what you truly love to do, but because of your attachments, you're still not doing it. Consider to question that aspect of you, those limitations, especially mental limitations that are coming from your belief system, and see if there's a way to expand yourself a little bit. Remember, a need for security, there's nothing wrong with it. But if we get too attached to it, we may stop looking for possibilities in life. We may become completely limited. And when we are completely limited, we lose any meaning of life. We lose any inspiration. We start to feel like robots. We start to feel like nothing has any sense. And when we feel like that, it's a strong signal that it's time to change. It's time to move forward. It's time to step outside of that limited box and see what inspires you. See what you truly loved to do when you were younger, and because of certain reasons you've stopped doing that. Truly pay attention to it, because there's a huge potential for growth and transformation, and it will help you to release the energy that will open yourself to a greater creative capacity that will allow you to solve the problems that you're facing with and transmute the energy of fear into the energy of trust. Really powerful. The third thing is that when it comes to Cancer's energy, it's deeply connected with our patterns of family, patterns of stability and security again, that we may associate with the place we are living in, our home. And of course, we may look at the home as our house we live in or a place where we live, but the first home you actually live in is your body, your physical body, a vehicle, a vessel of the soul, of the sacred energy, right? So when there's attention inside of the home, inside of the temple, we need to release it. We need to take care of it. And as I mentioned at the beginning, maybe certain emotions, certain emotional triggers may be more active. Certain emotional wounds may come to the surface, so you can release them. It may happen right now because the universe is helping you to cleanse yourself and prepare yourself for the life you're meant to live. And sometimes the life we're meant to live may only happen when we move through the deepest challenges. So we get stronger, so we learn to trust, so we learn to surrender. And that's what's happening to many people right now. So the message is to make your home a pleasant place to be in. So firstly, how can we make our bodies pleasant bodies to be in? Take care of your health. Take care of being active. Drink enough of water, right? Make sure that you are going into nature and you reconnect yourself with it. It's how we can take care of our bodies. Make sure that you stretch the muscles, because inside of the muscles there's a lot of stored tension that's storing through the years of using them and not taking the right care of them. Many people don't appreciate their bodies, but it all starts with appreciation of the vehicle that's allowing you to experience life. More you take care of it, greater your life will be. Then second, home is the home we live in, right? Make it a pleasant place to be in. It's a great time to cleanse it, to upgrade it, to update it, or whatever you need, to make it a pleasant place to be in. May it be supportive for your manifestations, for whatever you want or however you want your life to be. Make sure that you have a vision board, an emotional board, a place or a certain wall or a certain spot inside of your home that reminds you of your future that's going to happen. Make sure that you feel at ease when you're at home. Make sure that it's really, really pleasant and it allows you to be at peace with yourself when you get at home. So how can you do it? Well, firstly, just clean it up. A great upgrade, right? Or an update. If you've already done it, then make sure that it's supportive for what you want to change in your life. For example, sometimes, when people start working out and they have nothing in their environment that would motivate them to work out, they soon also quit. So sometimes, people put some quotes on the walls. Sometimes people put some workout equipment in a certain room. So whatever may help you, it doesn't really matter. But the most importantly, make sure that it's a pleasant state to be in. The place where I'm creating and making videos and painting, I have paintings on the walls. I have bright light, sun can enter into this room, and I feel really creative every time I come in. So that's how we can create our home a pleasant place to be in. If you're often arguing or having certain conflicts inside of your home, it means that you're expressing that painful energy inside of it. So you need to cleanse the energy of the room, of the whole home. Open your windows. In ancient Chinese methods, they were looking at the house like a live being. House is alive. So you need to open your windows every single day to let the fresh air enter in. You need to make sure that the light can enter into your room, because it's cleansing the energy inside of it. it will help you to create your home a pleasant place to be in. Really powerful, because you will see, you will feel much better, you will feel more creative, you will feel more productive, and you will be ready to take the right action that will bring you to where you want to be. So if you feel like you need some upgrades, it doesn't mean that you should buy something new. Sometimes we just need to change some things, to make some updates, right? So pay attention to that. If you feel like you need some updates for the place you're living in, it's a great time to do it. To prepare everything for this year, to manifest what is meant to find you. The fourth thing that may be really interesting right now and kind of strange, something I've mentioned before, this full moon is bringing us an interesting reminder, like something you've been passionate about in the past, but you've stopped doing it because of certain reasons, sometimes because of lack of time or because of lack of money or whatever it may be. It may start calling you once again, because there may be something deeper than just doing that. There may be a bigger meaning that you've been called to do it. Like, for example, I was in mountain biking, extreme mountain biking, for over 12 years. And when I've started painting and doing what I'm doing now, for a year and a half, I've completely stopped doing that sport. And I've lost inspiration for it. I was not motivated anymore to do that because I thought I've overgrown the sport. And I was just not, I wasn't felt called to do it anymore. But then just with the beginning of this year, so many interesting events started happening in my life. And it started, so many alignments happened and manifestations. Like, for example, I had a place where I was practicing at the home where I was growing up, close to the house I was growing in. I had my own playground where I was practicing, training. And since I've moved, that place got abandoned completely. But a few months ago, some kids started rebuilding it, reshaping it, and they've completely upgraded it, updated it. And then a few weeks ago, I went there and I've seen that, and I was really grateful for it, because I was sad to see when that place got abandoned, because I've spent so much time there, so much energy, so much effort. And suddenly, everything got abandoned. But then those kids updated it, and then we got in touch, and they really wanted to meet me, and we started riding together again for fun. So I've started teaching kids how to jump, how to make certain tricks, and it's really fun, and I love doing that. Especially I love to connect with kids, because there's so much potential in them. And for me, I know sport saved my life. I've learned so much about life through sports, and I love how the universe sometimes pull us back into something we truly love to do, and maybe we forgot about how much we truly love to do something because of certain reasons. Like, maybe there's something those kids may learn from connecting with what we are doing, or whatever it will be. I don't know right now, but it just started happening that those alignments and manifestations brought me back to what I'm really passionate about. Connecting with those kids, riding bikes, being in nature, spending a lot of time doing those things. It's something truly amazing. So if you may feel that something from the past started calling you again, maybe something you've been passionate about. I often receive messages from people who've been artists in the past, like painters, drawers, musicians, and they've stopped doing it because of their family or because of their job or whatever. But at some point it starts calling you again, because there's a bigger meaning that you're doing it. Sometimes it can help us to release our stored emotions. Sometimes it can help us to inspire others. Sometimes it may help us to raise the energy on this planet. There's always a bigger meaning to something that we're passionate about. So never ignore that. If it's calling you, pay close attention to it, because there's a truly bigger meaning to it. And the last thing I want to add to this present energy is that there's an amplified energy for letting go, so we can make space for what you want to experience in 2023. We've been talking a lot about this at the time of the end of the year, but because we can't let go of something just in a one day or in a few days, we have right now 27 days with that amplified energy for letting go of what we don't want to repeat anymore in our lives. If I give you one example, one of my habits that I wanted to let go of was that I go to bed at 10 p.m. I mean, the bad habit about it was that I was not really consistent with going into bed at 10. Like at 10, I'm ready to go to sleep. So sometimes it was 11, sometimes it was 10:30, sometimes it was 12, sometimes I was doing something creatively and I forgot about time, but it affected my energy in the next day. So I said to myself, well, that's the habit I want to really shape in this year, to every single day be ready to go to sleep at 10 p.m. I've started doing it and I know I will be even more consistent with it. So I've decided, well, this is what I'm doing right now. So whatever kind of a habit you may have and you feel that you need to let go of it, right now is a great time to clarify it, to fully identify it, and to see for what kind of habit you will change it. Because, for example, in this my situation, I've noticed that if I want to be ready to go to sleep at 10 p.m., it means that at 9 p.m., I already need to start with my evening routine, like do some yoga, some stretching, some journaling, some meditation, whatever I do. I need to start doing it at 9 p.m. because only that way I will be ready to go to sleep at 10 p.m. And that's something I needed to develop. And I was doing it before already, but I was not consistent with it. So I said, because I've noticed in the past, if I have consistent routine with my sleep, like going into sleep at the same time and waking up at the same time, and if I'm consistent with that, I have much more energy, I have much deeper sleep, much more REM phase of the sleep, and I feel much better. So this is something I'm working on. So think about if there's something you want to let go of, for what you will change it. You know, when we let go of a certain habit, we just need to change it for a new one. It's not just I will stop doing it, it's about I will replace it for this. So pay attention to that and use this energy for letting go, because with letting go, you're making space for what you want to experience. Another example, if I give you, is habit is also a belief. You know, habit is also a way of thinking. And if you think you're not worthy of a certain manifestation you would like to attract into your life, then it's because it's a habit that you're looking on life that way. And in order to change it, see how much differently you could look on life, how much differently you could think about yourself. And if you have no ideas, what could be that upgraded mindset? Read some books from people who have changed their lives for the better, and see what kind of upgrades they did, and then apply it in your life, and it will help you to make the shift. And then you need to stay consistent with it, because old patterns are so strong that even if you start developing new habits, it will be much easier to fall back into the old one than to stay consistent with the new ones. But eventually new ones will get stronger and you will feel it. At some point it will become your new natural state. That's how we make the change. And I want to remind you, don't miss this opportunity, because this full moon is so supportive. This time of the full moon and this whole cycle of this moon, 27 days, will support you on that journey so much. So use this energy wisely. And of course, make sure that you have a clear vision for the future, for this month, for this year, for the next 3 or 5 or 10 years. And visualize the outcomes like they are already real. Visualize like you're already in it. Visualize like it's already happening, because that's how you become a magnet for them. So my friends, this is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. I hope you found something valuable here. Let me know how you think in the comment section. Let's raise some love in the community. And my friends, I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings and power. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop. I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. Till next time, one love.